My name's Rosina and I've lived in Bristol for just over a year.
Yeah, I've been singing ever since I can remember. According to my mum, I could sing before I could talk, dance before I could walk. Despite my Jamaican heritage and the fact that I've had dreadlocks since like the age of 3, I never actually imagined myself being a reggae artist. I used to live in the centre of Manchester, and when I was 9, me and my mum joined a gospel choir there. Also, because I grew up in the countryside in the northwest of England, I've been quite exposed to folk music, which kind of goes against stereotypes when you look at me and I say I'm a singer. My involvement with the reggae band was actually a little bit of an accident. I'd just come back from being in Paris for a few months and I bumped into one of my friends who I used to see at a few jamming sessions in one of the local pubs, and then he told me that he was part of a reggae band. The next day he called me up and he said, "Hey, do you want to come to one of our practice sessions, you know?" And I thought he was saying it just because he just thought I'd be interested to just watch. At the end of the session, they turned around to me and they said, "Oh, do you want to put some vocals over this?" I was like, "Oh, okay."
So I first started developing facial hair around the age of sort of 13, 14. And yeah, as you can imagine, that was quite difficult because that's an age where you're starting to become more conscious of yourself and you're becoming more conscious about fitting in and being accepted.
I think my mum bought them for my 26th birthday. I'm now 27. So I've been practicing or learning, attempting to skate for about a year. In the same way, it's like relearning how to walk. Particularly lockdown presented a lot of opportunity for me to just get out and do an activity on my own, and skating was really therapeutic. I found it was great meditation. Once you've fallen over once, you think, "Oh, I survived that." So you have more confidence next time if you just look at it in that way, thinking, "Oh, I survived that, so can't be any worse." Whereas if you're hesitating and you're fearful of falling down, then you're not going to get anywhere with your skating. You won't take risks, you know, and you won't improve. Originally, I thought I just sprained it, and then 2.5 hours later, when it progressively got more painful and I couldn't move and it was swelling up, I realised that maybe I should go to A&E. Turns out that I've actually fractured my wrist.
One of my friends actually said to me, "Good art divides the people, but great art divides the person." I also paint. I also paint. I just love sketching and painting, and usually they're always unplanned pieces, unless I get commissions. Like a few people commission me to do specific things, but often they leave me with a lot of license to interpret it in whatever way I want. But usually when I paint, it's usually a spontaneous activity, kind of just a therapeutic sort of calming activity where I can just stop overthinking life and just let my thoughts flow like my paintbrush flows when it comes in contact with the paper.
to be loved by you, to be loved by you.
I think when I was young, somebody asked me, oh, what do you want to do when you're older? When I was like 5, I'd be like, oh, I want to be an artist. I don't know what career that's such a vague career, but in my head I was like, oh yeah, I just want to paint all day. When I was at school, I was always sort of referred to as the artist, and I think I got annoyed at one point because nobody else saw me as anything other than the girl who can draw really well. So then I kind of went into a rebellious stage and then stopped doing art for from the age of 15 I just stopped doing it.
You got my back, darling, I got your back, to be loved by you, to be loved by you.
I don't really have any rules about how I approach my work really. It just depends on my mood really. Since I was a child, I've always enjoyed painting women, black women especially. It must be something to do with just identity really. Maybe as a kid I didn't really see enough black women, so I just invented my own black princesses, African goddesses. So the hair on my face affected me throughout the whole of my teens and most of my early 20s, and it really dictated how I just went about my everyday life. It was always on my mind. I used to find it really intimidating and really hurtful and almost paralyzing when just the thought of people judging me. Now I've managed to kind of reverse that, and now I sort of see the power in that, the fact that my beard has the power to dominate a whole room. I feel like I have a responsibility to make sure the decision to change my body comes from me and not from other people telling me that I should be doing that.
I think it's about time I sort of gently escort the elephant off the bandstand and talk about my beard. You've all been looking at it and I'm sure you're wondering what it's all about. So I'm a lioness with a mane. In other words, I'm a woman who naturally has the ability to grow a beard. I'm a black woman with a beard. And I think I've been growing it for almost a year now. And I decided to face my fear of growing it out, purely to reckon with my own feelings around having a beard and understand how I feel about it and try and remove the influence of what other people think about it. And the only way to do that is to face that fear until it no longer affects you anymore and you can see more clearly how you feel about whatever it is that you've been taught to hate. I've been documenting my journey, and if you want to follow me, if you've got phones, you can get them out, and you can type in Little Miss Blackbeard, and I'm hoping to do a blog to document to sort of share my experiences so far. But I'm a massive procrastinator, but it's coming. I'm still on this journey. It's still relevant. It's still fresh. I've got a lot to share. So I've just come up to share that, and thank you.